Hello, everybody. Rob Cootie here with MLM Solution. I want to welcome all of you to today's episode at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you know, we go live then. We stream to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. And if you will, please help us get the word out. Let's share this information that we have with our fellow network marketers all across the globe. You can do that utilizing hashtag the MLM Solution. You can also go to our website, themlmsolution.net. You can hit the share button there. Please, on any of our social media platforms, hit the share button, the like button, everything else that you can. Help us spread the word. As you know, the algorithms won't work unless you help or you partner with us and help us get the word out. Thank you in advance for doing that. Today's episode, podcast number 132, The Dangers of Seeing Dollar Signs. You would think that seeing dollar signs would be a good thing, but believe it or not, like anything, yin and yang, there's good and bad in all things. And we're going to talk about that as we take a deep dive into this particular subject. We all come into this business model wanting one of three things: more time freedom, better lifestyle, or more money. You would think that wanting more money would be a good thing. Once again, we're going to talk about some things that will surprise you. That being said, I'm going to hop off of here. We'll see you in a moment.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie.
Good morning, Rob. Middle of the week it is.
We got another storm coming our way tonight and tomorrow.
Lucky.
Yeah, we feel lucky right now. All right, it's the reason why I drink a lot of coffee, keep myself warm. And I get chilled sometimes, and when I get something warm in my tummy, I'll eat soup or drink coffee. I'm not a big coffee drinker. I usually have 1 cup, maybe 1.5 per day. But lately I've been drinking 3 or 4, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. And,
wow.
And that's very unusual for me. Caffeine does not bother me at all. Some people go, oh, man, how in the world do you sleep? My wife says he could sleep anywhere. You put him on a bed of rocks, he'll sleep. Bed of nails, he'll sleep. She's right. I don't have a problem going to sleep. When she first met me, she goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm having coffee. She goes, how are you going to go to sleep? I said, what do you mean? She goes, that is going to keep you up all night. I said, that's never happened to me. And it doesn't. It relaxes me.
I think that's a military residual. You guys can sleep like anywhere, anytime. It's like, it's time to sleep. I get time to sleep. Okay, good night.
Well, I'll tell you, sometimes where we were, you did not want to lay down and go to sleep. With the scorpions and the snakes and centipedes, oh, girl, that was not a fun time.
I wouldn't imagine.
Oh, man, I have seen, I just won't go into it. I don't like creepy crawly things. I'm not deathly afraid of them, but the thought of them climbing into bed with me, because they love warmth. And sometimes the sleeping bags that we would use, because sometimes we're in environments where if you're going to get some sleep, you got 2 or 3 hours, maybe safe sleep. And they got sleeping bags that will, quote unquote, keep the snakes from crawling in there with you, because snakes will crawl up next to you without you even knowing it and crawl right up, just like a cat. And they mean no harm, but they want the warmth. But when you go to roll over,
yeah, not so much.
No, that is not fun. I've never liked scorpions and tarantulas. Oh, they climb in there with you too. Yeah. It's not fun, Well, I'd be like, you're in the military. Like it's all glamorous and stuff. No, there's some shit goes on there. You're just like, woo, man. Yeah. Anyway, that brings back memories. Not
Thanks
fun
for that
ones.
flashback, right?
Not fun ones.
Well, today's topic actually was a little bit of a flashback for me, and part of the reason
Really?
I picked up on this one, the danger of seeing dollar signs everywhere, is I don't know if you've experienced this. I'm guessing you probably did at one time. I know I did early on when I first started in network marketing. Because what were we taught when we were originally started, right? It was the 3-foot rule. If anybody's within 3 feet of you, you want to be talking to them about your network marketing business. You're going to be talking to your friends and your family.
Absolutely.
And it almost got to a point where everybody I was seeing, everybody I was meeting, it was like, oh, they'd be great for the business. I got to get them in the business.
Yes.
So it was almost, it became, rather than seeing them as a person and seeing them for who they were, it was, I was seeing dollar signs, you know, what could they do for me? What could they do for my business? And it is a very real danger, because you start to lose some of the humanity in the interactions you have with people. And it's particularly damaging for relationships with friends and family if you don't know when to back off, right? Yeah. Because I don't know about your experience, but especially when I started in the network marketing industry, my friends and family were not the entrepreneurial type. They were not the type to be thinking about wanting to someday have their own business, to having those aspirations. They were very much kind of that old school mindset, you know? You go to school, you get a good job, you stay with the same company for a really long time until you get that gold watch, and then you retire. There was no, you know, idea about a side hustle. There wasn't this extra motivation to so much be your own boss. It was more an interest in safety and security and having a regular paycheck and having a consistent job to go to every day that you knew was going to be there. And 2 weeks vacation a year, hey, that's great. Because, you know, where I grew up, people didn't travel much, if at all. And if they did, it was up north, right? I grew up in Wisconsin, so any vacations were up north. So whether it was summer or deer hunting season, vacation was up north. So you're talking a 3 or 4 hour car ride away, not to a particularly exotic location, right?
Right.
So the risk came in that I would start seeing friends and family as these dollar signs. You know, how could I get them engaged in the business? And, oh, they have a great personality, or they're a really good speaker. Oh, I bet they could be really good at this, or they know a lot of other people who would also be really good at this. So, you know, I would go after them constantly because that's what we were trained to do, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And, you know, there were probably more than a couple friendships that were lost because it was just like, I don't want to hear that garbage anymore.
Yeah.
And I was too hard-headed to know better and to let it go. So did you have a similar type of experience?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. Listening to you sometimes is like you're the female version of me telling stories. I mean, I lived the exact same thing, and I'm sure I've lost some friends over the years. But like you said, we didn't know any different. We were just doing what we were told. And it's hard to, when you look back, you just shake your head like, golly, I should have known better. You know, there's a different way going about this, you know? And, but you know, you got to learn. One of the reasons that you and I can look back and say, a lot of times our upline leadership didn't know what in the hell they were talking about. And chances are yours don't either, guys. Is because that's exactly what, as we look back, we realize, well, now I know why they told me that, because they didn't know what in the hell to say to me, you know. They were like, what do I say to her? What do I tell her? Tell her this, you know. There was very little factual information being bled down to you and I back in those days. It truly was throw mud against the wall and see what sticks, because that's what the 3-foot rule was, or the 6-foot rule, or stick a mirror under the nose, and if he fogged it up, they were a prospect. That approach. So, yeah, we grew up in the golden age of network marketing, but we also grew up in the crude phase of network marketing, because you and I mean, look, we broke the ground for everybody today. And I'm not trying to make us as a martyr or anything, but you and I did all the hard stuff. And before us was the Bill Britts and stuff. I listened to their stories and what they went through, and that's mind-boggling. I mean, wow. To build the businesses that they did using the archaic methods that they did, the outdated, the barbaric. I mean, I consider them barbaric because who in the world? But you know what? It worked for them because it was the 1960s, and people were a lot more forgiving, a lot more open. But the thing is, it was very crude and very rudimentary, to be honest with you. So,
well, it's interesting that you talk about it in terms of like throwing mud at the wall, or like I typically like to say, throwing spaghetti at the wall, right?
Yes,
there was no thought given to who would be really good at this business, right? Like we talk about the scale of ambition. We talk about looking for people who are already successful to a certain extent in their current career, or if they already have another business, and going after people who are motivated, who are business minded, and focusing more on those individuals, because those are the people who are going to be more interested in a wealth building opportunity, like the network marketing industry, right? Because like we always talk about, people get involved in network marketing typically for one of three reasons. They want the time freedom, they want a better lifestyle, or they want to be making more money. And the time freedom very much kind of plays into that entrepreneurial mindset. Like I always tell people, I have been psychologically unemployable for a long time. Like I cannot do the boss thing. I cannot have someone dictating to me how to do something, when to do that thing, which hours I have to be sitting my butt in a desk chair doing that thing. That just, it doesn't work for me. And I have been that way for a long time. Even when I was employed, I think I was still slightly psychologically unemployable. And I'm sure if you go back and look at some of my corporate reviews from back in the day. I mean, shoot, it goes all the way back to kindergarten, does not share or play well with others.
There you go.
I have a history of it. So it was that idea of you really were throwing spaghetti at the wall because you were talking to anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
And there's such a small portion of the population who are really primed to take on their own business, to get into that type of effort. And the other problem then that came with talking to anybody and everybody was making it sound so much easier than it really was.
Yeah.
So not only was I projecting dollar signs onto them, but oftentimes I would find myself, or I would hear others within the industry giving these folks a vision of dollar signs dancing in their heads of how easy this business was. It was like, oh my goodness, you get involved with this, it's like a cash machine. It's like winning the lottery. You can't find any easier way to make money. And, as you know, any business you get involved in, it is not easy. It can be simple. We talk about our 5 simple steps that we use as our success plan to help people become successful in their network marketing business. Big difference between simple and easy, right?
Yes.
Simple is just very well defined, thought out, proven path to follow, whereas easy implies no effort. But the 5 simple steps, that still requires effort. It requires an investment of time.
Right.
It requires you to do the work. There is no business that anyone has ever built that hasn't been done without a certain amount of blood, sweat, and tears, right? So back in the day, we had, And companies would get in trouble for this, right? Because they talk about, oh, you can make $10 million in 6
right.
months working
Yeah.
2 hours a week. Like, what?
You're right.
I wish that was true. And if it had been true, everybody would have been doing it, right? But not the case at all.
No.
So it was rough getting past that and recognizing it for the opportunity that it truly was to build an actual business.
Yeah.
And I think people still sometimes struggle today, the folks that, when they hear MLM or network marketing, they're automatic, the little red flag pops up and they're thinking, oops, scam. Oop,
Yeah.
That's not a good thing because of some of the history that we've had.
That's right. Yeah, it's that's something that you're always going to face, guys, is preconceived ideas of the industry and things of that nature. I used to do a presentation. It took too long. It's a great presentation, but it took too long and really took people's focus off of things. But the people that were on the fence and wondering about the legitimacy of the industry and things of that nature, you could quote, the FCC Amway ruling and all this other stuff. And that, that's a tired old card that's been played many times. So what I did is I had a piece of paper and I actually ended up laminating it and using it on people that were on the fence. Basically what I did, I said, okay, we got 2 business models, and I would go down and I say, here's the company and here's the product, it's the distribution. And I went through this whole scenario. And in this one here, you had a region of 5 states. You were by yourself. You got a bonus. You were paid on a bonus. You were paid on what you sold. In other words, it was sales. You were eligible for some bonuses. You couldn't afford to be sick, but blah, 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 blah. And you got paid really well. And the model that I was comparing it to was here you can build a team. The world is your oyster. You can build anywhere, and you get bonuses here too, and you can also get a percentage of the sales. And there was a lot of similarities between the 2 business models. And so at the end, I would ask people, say, can you tell me what those business models are? And they would see all the similarities, and they said, well, they're very similar. I really can't tell or figure out. And I said, well, this one here is a pharmaceutical sales rep, and this one here is network marketing. And they were blown away. They said, I had no idea that it had that many similarities with a legitimate business model known as pharmaceutical sales, plus the benefits far outweighed, because you could build a team. You had the world at your fingertips. You weren't limited. You couldn't be fired from your job if you got sick. You could start and stop anytime you want. You got paid on the volume, even if it was one product. The company was excited that you moved one product for them, et cetera, and they saw the list of benefits that were pro versus con in the network marketing business model versus the pharmaceutical. And that broke down a lot of barriers for people. They said, can I have that? I actually made a video of that. I have a video, a training video. But it's really useless, because what happens, Miss Marie, not only does it take 20, 25 minutes to do that, what have you accomplished? Okay? Because the music to the ears message either puts people in your camp or pushes them out. And that's what you want. You want that quick answer, because speed and urgency is essential here. With that presentation, you have to learn that presentation. You have to practice it. It's 20 minutes long. If you don't do it right, you'll mess it up. And it's for people that are on the fence anyway. And you have to decide, well, is it really worth my effort to go talk to somebody that's 50-50 or 60-40, 40% for and 60% against? So even though it was a great presentation and impressed a lot of people, its effectiveness was limited. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I was going to say what you're doing is you're really convincing someone to join the business, right? You're convincing them that it's legitimate. You're convincing them that the business can work for them. And if you have to convince someone to join the business once they're in the business, then you have to convince them to work the business.
And
And
what
that
are they doing?
becomes a major time suck, right? And
Right.
those are the people typically, you know, if you've really had to kind of sell them on the business
There it
and
is.
becoming part of your network marketing
Yeah.
organizations, those are the folks that typically fall out in attrition.
That's
Because
right.
they either don't do anything, maybe they're a customer and they just do the product, but they're not going to build a business. And more often than not, they eventually just kind of opt out
There
and
you
fall
go.
off to the wayside. So
Here it is. You nailed it. There's experience speaking right there, folks. Live and in person. She knew exactly what the fallacies were of that approach. Additionally, on top of that, guys, not only is she absolutely positively correct, but here's the thing. The person that uses that and uses that as a crutch, what kind of people are they going to attract to themselves? The same on the fence people. And now you can't create any speed and urgency because now you're depending on this presentation instead of the music to the ear's message. So it was a total, I had to get rid of it. You can tell. I don't bring it out because it has the opposite effect, just like our subject today. So let's get to that. So there was a piece of gold nugget information that you guys can use. But look, the dangers of seeing dollar signs. Look, here's the bottom line. You're going to go after, a lot of people, Miss Marie, they automatically focus on the bonuses, the trips, the cars, because certain comp plans, certain companies offer, hey, if you get to this level, we'll give you a car. And they don't mean they give it to you; they lease it, and they make the payments on it. Okay, and there's a lot of problems with leasing, believe me. And if you mess that car up, so it's a nice little gesture and it's fun, but there's real dangers that come with the leasing of. I know some companies. I was a part of those companies that leased for people at a certain level Bentleys. Now I love Bentleys, okay, but I'm gonna tell you something. That's asking for trouble. That's a problem waiting to happen, okay. And the company was taking a big risk, and the insurance on that, Miss Marie, program, I can only imagine what the company was paying on insurance on that because there was danger signs everywhere, right? So anyway, on top of that, you have trips. Okay, and a lot of times they're cruises, right, Miss Marie?
mm-hmm.
And a lot of times those cruises come at times where you can't make it. Okay, and there's a lot of times, Miss Marie, where certain people won't go because other people are going that they don't like. And if they do go, it's not a very good environment. So what am I saying here? Look, even though the bonuses are not dollar signs, and there are bonuses that are cash, I'll take that every day of the week because I'll get my own freaking cruise. I'll get my own freaking car. But what is the danger with a bonus? Miss Marie, sometimes people go out and they, excuse me, they spend that money above and beyond. Let's say they get a $3,000 check and they say, well, you know what, this trip costs $5,000, so I'll take $2,000 out of mine and combine it with the $3,000, and I'll go on this trip. Okay, and that $2,000 could have ended up, all of a sudden you got a family emergency, and that $2,000 becomes a very important piece of handling that emergency, and you spent it on a trip. Now, because you thought this bonus money was great, and you're going to go out and spend it all, in one spot. What happens is, like anything, the old saying, they put a carrot in front of a donkey, and with this on a stick to get the donkey to go forward, and it works, by the way. Anyway, the bottom line is, I've tried it. Believe me, it works. The dangers are essentially the same. They dangle that money in front of you, and if you focus on, especially by Miss Marine, I tell you, focus on cold hard cash. What the comp plan is going to put in your checking account. Screw the cars, screw the trips, screw the bonus checks. Yes, they're nice and they're extras, and that's awesome. Okay. But guys, if you get focused on that stuff there, you're going to get away from the basics. You're going to make this business work. You're going to get so caught up. Miss Marie, they'll go from one bonus check to the other. They'll go from one trip to the other. Oh, they're going to go to Monaco, which is a great place, by the way. If you ever get a chance, go. But anyway, the bottom line is they're going to go to Monaco. I got to do everything I can. And they're going to go to Monaco in 3 months. And you got to reach a certain amount of volume in that time frame. Miss Marie, you can cut. All of a sudden you're cutting. Doing shortcuts. Blah, blah, blah. And what are you doing? You're undermining chances are you're making one of the 4 critical mistakes, maybe all 4, trying to get to that trip in Monaco. And Miss Marie, they may actually qualify for that trip, but the damage they left behind in their business will catch up with them over the next 3 to 4 months, where the business will start to crumble because they did not do what? Good duplication. What do? They did bad duplication, trying to sign up as many people as fast as they could, not taking the time to train them properly, not enforcing the 5 simple steps. They just wanted the volume. They were chasing the dollars. And even if the dollars are attached to a trip, it's still dollars, guys. That's what it is. Right, Miss Marie?
Well, absolutely. And, as you're kind of talking about that, trying to drive that volume high in a short amount of time to achieve a trip or whatever the bonus may be, countless stories come to mind of times when I saw people buying up product to drive the volume in their business. And all of a sudden they've got a spare room full of product. They've got a garage full of product that they can't move. They can't do anything with.
Yes, that is a great point. And you know what, guys? A lot of times people will use their bonus money if they qualify, or use their network marketing money to do exactly what you said, to buy all that product. If they can make $2,500 a month and they're $2,500 or $3,000 away from going to the next pin level, there it is right there. They will go out and buy that next pin. And you know what, Miss Marie? It's short-lived, isn't it? Because they can't spend $3,000 a month of their business income. If they go up to Sapphire, they can't maintain that Sapphire pin level outside of them spending $3,000 a month, because their business on its own will not support that, right?
Exactly. And that's one of those dangerous things that people have a tendency to get into. It's like, oh, it's just, a couple $100 worth of products. Like, don't do it. If you cannot legitimately build the business to the level that you need to achieve the next pin rank, that bonus, that trip, whatever it is, do not artificially inflate it, because you won't be able to maintain it. And it's one of those things that is going to become bad duplication.
Oh, man.
If your team gets wind of the fact that you've done this, they're going to do it. And this is another one of those aspects of network marketing that you'll hear people get upset about. They've been in network marketing before. They've now sworn off of it because they had a bad experience, because they ended up spending so much money trying to maintain a pin level or a bonus level or whatever it happens to be. And it's not reasonable. It can't be done. It's not realistic. Do not ever do that.
No. Man, you're bringing up some great points tonight, and I'm tickled pink that you are, because these are critically important, guys. What she's talking about happens all the time, and it's absolutely essential that you understand. Don't fall for it. Look, stick with the basics, the 5 simple steps. You may miss this Monaco trip, but I'm going to tell you, a lot of companies have those trips every year, and a lot of times they go to the same place every year. Okay, and so what if they don't? If you do the 5 simple steps and stay on track and do what you're supposed to do, and do what we tell you, which we haven't talked about in a while. Ignore the bonuses, ignore the trips and the cars. That is just extra stuff that they can put in your pocket, and that's awesome. But guys, it's a cold hard cash that gets put in your account each and every month. That's what counts. That's your barometer. That's your baseline. That tells you truly where you are in your business and whether it's healthy or not. Okay? So the bottom line is, don't get caught up in it. Put blinders on. Stick with your goals that you wrote down in your 90-day goal sheet, whether you're in phase 1 or phase 3 business building mode. Okay, either or. And the bottom line is, stay focused, because if you do, you're going to be able to afford to go to Monaco by yourself in a first-class way, with people you like instead of people you may not like. Okay, and if you go to Monaco, I promise you want to go with people you like, because that's a special place to go. So the thing is that you want to make sure that you achieve your goals on your timetable, because life will give you opportunities down the road to experience what it is you want to experience with this money. And she says money gives you options. The more money you have, the more options you're going to have, and the higher quality options you're going to have. Instead of staying at a Hotel 8, you're going to be able to stay at Supreme Hotel 8. Okay. And there is a difference, I promise you, safety wise as well as economic, well, almost economics, but what do they call it? Features, whatever. What do they call it?
Amenities.
Thank you. I don't know why I think that. But yes, exactly. Miss Marie, I don't know about you, but this is not in any way, shape, or form bragging. But here's what I'm saying. I've always enjoyed the nice things in life. Always been attracted to nice things in life. Never bragged about them. Don't give a shit what other people think about it. Okay, I did it because I wanted to experience it. And you know what? I've stayed in some of the finest hotels in America. I guess some of them are the finest in the world, based on some of them I stayed in. And I won't tell you how much I paid a night. That's irrelevant. But it was a lot of money. And I didn't do that to impress anybody. This is the first time I've ever brought it up. But the thing is, Miss Marie, there's a big difference in the quality of the hotel and where it's located in the vicinity of the city, so that you're safe. Walk into your car. You know what I'm saying? And that that your stuff's not gonna be stolen out of your room. You know what I'm getting at? I've stayed in bad ones too. Believe me. Who hasn't? Nobody. Well, none of us were born rich. You know, you learn what. You learn how to appreciate quality when you run into it because you've been to the dumps, right?
Well, exactly. If you grew up anything like I did, we always referred to it as having champagne taste on a beer budget. So,
yes, which applies to a lot of us, right? I mean, who hasn't been there?
Absolutely. Well, and here's my perspective on it. Oftentimes, is the focus should be on building your business, building that income stream that's going to work for you.
Yes.
And if your network marketing company happens to have bonus programs, trip programs, car programs, take it as it comes, because it will come naturally. Sometimes network marketing companies will run a special competition or something like that. In the next 3 months, the top volume, earners or whatever will receive a free trip or something like that. It's like, well, that's great. I wouldn't focus on that. I wouldn't make that your goal, because you already have a goal in mind. You're looking for a certain level of time freedom, a certain lifestyle you want to be able to live, a certain income level that you're looking to achieve. So focus on building your business to achieve that level of income that's going to allow you to do all those other things you want. And don't get sidetracked by the little extra bonuses or competitions or programs that the network marketing company's throwing out. Now, if in the natural course of building your business, following the 5 simple steps, doing those consistent and correct business building activities, working with the leaders in your organization, if you happen to achieve the winning spot in those competitions, you get that executive bonus, you get that special trip or whatever it happens to be, yay, that's gravy. But don't make that a goal that's going to sidetrack you from what you're ultimately looking to accomplish.
Right. Absolutely. Well said. And let me say this as well, guys. Look, we talked about this, paying off all your debt and everything. That is the most boring approach. Look, most of you guys, I would say, I can confidently say, because we all come from the same cloth. There's very few people that are born into wealth. Okay. So I would venture to say that most people listening to this podcast either haven't been in network marketing or have been and have not achieved the success they want. That being said, I will tell you that if you hit it big, you will be making money that you've never had before, and that can be overwhelming. And you can go out and end up committing yourself to a home, to a car, to a lifestyle that you cannot afford to maintain currently where your business is. Once again, you have to have professionals like Marie and I that would be able to evaluate your business if you wanted an honest opinion. But most people don't want to hear it, Miss Marie. They want to spin, because they don't know how to handle the fame, because you're going to get famous within your peer group. The word's going to get out, the accomplishments that you've achieved in this business model. And there's a lot of adulation that comes with that, and that can be intoxicating as well. But what ends up happening is you feel like this is a ride that's going to last forever. Well, Rob and Maria said that the residual income machine is finally here. My business is running on autopilot. I don't have to work on it every day. I can go out and buy whatever I want. And it's true to a certain degree. But you can wake up one day, okay, this is the other side, the ugly side of network marketing, and 2 of your biggest producers could be gone to another company. Now you've committed yourself to a $2 million home, a multi-million-dollar lifestyle, and you have a vacation home, you have a boat, you have all this stuff, and instead of paying cash for it, you've got multiple payments. What in the hell do you do now? Where are you going to make that kind of money to cover all that? Okay, so in an instant, you are now, all that hard work you put in, you are now in a situation that you're not going to be able to get out of. It is going to get ugly. Okay, now I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here. I'm being, look, there's yin and yang and everything. There's good and bad and everything. Okay, and the bottom line is life happens. And I wish it was all roses. You know, we talk about a residual income machine and it can last for, months or sometimes years. And that's awesome. It does happen. It happens a lot in network marketing. But guess what? The opposite is true too. I would venture to say there's more horror stories out there than there are success stories. Okay. Why? Because 97% of the people in the network marketing don't achieve that level of success. And unfortunately, a lot of people lose their jobs and their families over network marketing because there's something about it, Miss Marie. They get it in their blood and they can't hardly give it up. And it's almost like a drug. And they will spend every penny they have pursuing, quote unquote, the success, when all it is these 5 simple steps. So the bottom line is, guys, is that the dollar signs can entice you to do things and make decisions that can have a profound and negative effect on your business. The reason why we have the dangers of seeing dollar signs. Okay. If you do, in fact, become the number 1 or number 2 money earner in this company, guys, that's more dangerous than you not having money at all in a lot of cases, because you end up trying to live a lifestyle that, to be honest with you, your business may not be able to support long term. You may get away with it for a year, you may get away with it for 8 months, maybe 14 months. But guess what? The company's going to flatline financially sooner or later. The companies and the products have a life cycle, don't they, Miss Marie?
Absolutely. Yep.
That's the reason why, Miss Marie, I tell you, and pay everything off, save up a lot of money and invest so that you can maintain your lifestyle. It's a boring approach. I know it's not the flashy owning your own plane and having a yacht. I know it's not all that, but it's the sound way to have a high quality life for the rest of your life. Would you not agree, Miss Marie?
Absolutely. And I honestly, I think that's a great summarization of this episode, to be honest with you.
I agree.
And that's really kind of the point we're driving at here is don't get distracted by the dollar signs. Don't get distracted by the glamour. Focus on building the business and keep in mind that you are a business builder.
That's
you
right.
talk about the fact that we don't refer to ourselves as network marketers. It's business builders because we are building a business.
That's right. Absolutely. And you got to be responsible with the money, guys. And if you do, you will have a long life. Because what is the purpose of this business model? To change your life. Well, if you don't handle it correctly, you are going to end up where you started, maybe in a worse situation than what you started. Guys, I'm telling you, just listen to us, pay off your debt, save up as much money as you can, invest it in gold and silver. That's probably the best thing you could do right now. And set yourself up for the rest of your life. You'll be so glad you did. You'll be so glad. Okay, because you may never catch this lightning in a bottle again, right, Miss Marie? This may be your one time. Don't blow it. Don't look back and say, because I'm going to tell you something. The yachts are not going to keep you warm at night. They're not going to pay your bills. And you're only going to get half, if that, on a yacht. I'm going to tell you, you talk about a car depreciating, try buying a yacht. See how much that depreciates. There's not many people out there buying yachts, guys. Okay. Not used ones anyway. The people that can't afford them buy new ones, don't they, Miss Marie?
Well, absolutely. And I would say as you're building your business, take some time, and educate yourself about finances.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the biggest differences
Yes.
between the lower middle class and the wealthy is the fact that lower middle class tends to spend money on liabilities, meaning homes, cars, ATVs, RVs, the yacht, liabilities, things that are costing you money, things that you're making monthly payments on. You're living that monthly payment plan, even though you may have a lot of money and be able to support that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas on the flip side of the coin, the wealthy take their money and they invest it in assets. They invest it in more wealth producing opportunities. That could be investing in gold and silver. It could be investing in real estate. It could be investing in another business. Perhaps there's another business idea or hobby or passion or something that you want to grow another business with the funds from your network marketing business. Look at those things, because it's almost a similar track as people who win the lottery. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, winners of the lottery, that's like a instantaneous overnight thing, right? You can have someone who has lived a lifestyle where they're very much paycheck to paycheck, kind of living by the seat of their pants type of lifestyle. And all of a sudden they've got $10 million, right? And they think they're set for life. But studies have shown 5 years down the road, when they go back and they look at most lottery winners, they are in a worse lifestyle situation than they were before they won the lottery. This is because it's people that they're not financially educated. They all of a sudden get all this money and they really don't understand how to make that money work for them. They just spend it freely. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but if you're ultimately going to end up in a worse situation than you were before you won the lottery, I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. But the same can hold true in the network marketing industry.
Right.
Because again, I'm such an advocate for this industry because it is the best method out there for the average person to earn an above average income. It really is, in my opinion.
Absolutely, no doubt.
So again, the same type of situation takes place. And this is where I say, as you're building your business, if you're going to be a true business builder and function as a business owner, become well versed in financials, handling your money well, doing some investing, doing some saving, paying off that high interest debt. Some debt is better than others. Credit card debt, super bad. Mortgage debt, not so bad. There's a big difference, right? But it's educating yourself and knowing the difference and knowing how to manage your money well.
Absolutely. Well said. And we're going to close here on a little bit. Let me say this in closing, and we are closing. Don't be material rich and cash poor. How's that?
Yep.
So that's what she's saying. Don't do that. All right, guys, we've hammered this subject well enough. And the bottom line is, don't be chasing the dollar. Just stay with the 5 simple steps. Do the simple things. I'm telling you, there's power and beauty and simplicity. If you keep things in life simple and you do the basics, you'll be amazed at the impact you can have. In the beginning, they're going to be boring. They're not going to be sexy. They're not going to be exciting. And it's all based on faith. Doing the basics is not fun. It takes great discipline. And you got to have faith. Okay? But the rewards can be enormous down the road. Okay? The thing about basics, they're going to test your patience. They're going to test your mettle, okay? Because once again, they're not going to be walking around in a mini skirt with no top on. They're going to be that woman that everybody looks past because she's got herself all covered up and nobody thinks that she's pretty, okay? And you know what? She's the woman you want to marry because she's the one that is the real gold in this situation. Well, that's what we're trying to tell you in a roundabout way. Don't fall for the girl in the miniskirt, right? That's not a good thing. I'm not speaking from experience.
I'm not touching that.
All right. With that being said, it's time to go. All right. Miss Marie, it's been great. Tomorrow's subject is maintaining your income. Now we talked about don't chase the dollars, but you worked hard doing the basics and you built up a nice income. We're going to tell you tomorrow, and this is important because look, it's one thing to build it, it's another thing to keep it, and maintaining that income where you can depend on it. I'm going to tell you something. There's a number of different ways you got to look at it because the company plays a major role. What's going on with the company will have a direct impact on what is happening to your income. There's only so much you can do. We'll talk about the things you can do with your downline, with your leaders, also in the business building process. But we're also going to talk about the company's change in philosophy, change in policy, or their product line. Or the comp plan. There's a lot of things you can really test your ability to maintain your income. We're going to talk about those things tomorrow. Important information. Don't miss it. If you will, please, as always, give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear and you can see where it can help you. We've always appreciated, and we thank you in advance for that. If you will, please also like, share, and comment on our various social media platforms. When you go to our YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if you will, register for notifications by hitting the bell twice. Once again, we depend on you. You're our word of mouth to help get this information out to our fellow network marketers across the globe. We are very thankful and grateful to you for doing that. Continue to help us if you will, and you can do that by using the hashtag #TheMLMSolution. You can also go to our website, themlmsolution.net. Hit the share buttons and all that. We got a lot of social media buttons on there. Please continue to share that as well. Thank you guys in advance. Miss Marie, I shall see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, you all have a blessed day. We are so grateful that you joined us today and look forward to having you again tomorrow. Take care. God bless. We'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.